This is episode 334 of the Gold Squadron podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Will. We can't handle spoilers of this magnitude, Hegwood. And today I'm joined by Ryan, Worlds over Endor, Staniszewski.
Yup, we're gonna have to find out if the battle over Endor is worlds legal or not in the near future.
Ooh. Could really shake it up. We also have James, brains empty, fill me up Endor, Ritter.
Show me what's coming out. What's been spoiled so far for us, and in these articles that we've gotten.
Yeah, exciting stuff. Gonna be our main topic tonight is the official released spoils of the battle over Endor. Before we get to it, though, you know I gotta thank my favorite GSP supporters. That's the Patreons. They're our largest group. They're of supporters. They what keeps the lights on, the website going, the streams continuing, and most importantly, get us out to live events like the Las Vegas World Open qualifier in just a couple weeks now. So very exciting. If you want to help us in our future endeavors, you got to check out patreon.com/goldsquadron. You get unique channels on our Discord. You get shareable art from our past projects. There's levels for everybody. Check it out. If you like what we do, it's a great way to support us. But without further ado, we have to go over to cue it up, Dion. Come on, Dion. You can do it. Come on. There it is. We're going to head over to the Asmodee website where they had just reposted, or just had posted, the Star Wars X-Wing Battle over Endor scenario. This show's product releases February 23rd, which is more than a month, about a month. Because Adepticon's like the 21st, 22nd, something like that.
It's like directly a month before Worlds.
Right. Which is, as you were alluding to, Ryan, within the time frame that's normally allowed for product to be used at Worlds. No confirmation on that yet. But
yeah, you say normally. So we did hear from Chris last week that we would get a cutoff date in the event packet, which apparently has not been fully. That information has not been fully published yet. There's a chance that they may still be finalizing whether or not Endor is going to make the world's legality cut. So we'll see. What's kind of funny, knowing what the Battle of Endor, how they described it back at last year's Adepticon and what it's focusing on, it's supposed to be attacking the Super Star Destroyer, which is not in the picture. And we'll get to a couple other things that are in this picture that are either missing or not part of the pack anyway. But cool art anyway. Still really cool. Actually, I wonder what has the front art of any of the scenario packs been used as a pilot art for any of the pilots, or is the front art always just completely separate and it's not a pilot art?
I think it's always been unique. I'm trying to think of Yavin was a mix of X-Wings and TIE Fighters, yeah, so I don't think it shares art with any cards or anything that I can think of. Looks great.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
You did say like there's no SSD out there, and yeah, I guess you're right.
Behind them, it's the trap.
It is the trap.
Behind them. Yeah.
Let's see here. It does say players can relive the iconic battle over Endor in this new scenario pack. The battle over Endor contains everything you need to create this decisive battle on the tabletop, including rules for playing out in battle over Endor scenario, as well as new standard loadout cards representing iconic Imperial and Rebel and Imperial pilots who participated in the battle. So I guess we could start there. Beautiful art on the front of the box. On the back of the box, though, we can read out all of the new pilots. Before we take a look into the spoils here, we'll read what actually comes in the box. We got Arvel, we got Gremmer Sojin, which is an A-Wing. We got Tycho, and Adon Fox, a character I'm not familiar with. You can hit me with that.
I think that's new. I've never heard of Adon Fox before, ever.
Hit me with that fandom. See what we can find out about Aiden Fox. Of course, Braylon Strom and Gina Moonsong, and their iconic B-Wings. We have Kendi Idell, another character I'm not familiar with, and someone who just goes by Endor. Of course, Wedge Antilles and Lando Calrissian in their iconic ships for the Rebels.
As a count, then, we have 3 A-Wings, 3 B-Wings, 3 X-Wings, 1 Falcon. No Y-Wings, which are in the picture.
There is a picture of it. I was surprised when I saw the Y-Wing.
Sad Horton noises.
Well,
Sad,
there's been a lot of
Nora
Y-Wing
noises.
Yeah.
Sad Nora noises, because she actually went into the Death Star.
That's true.
Well, this is the battle over the Star Destroyer, though, not inside the Death Star.
I guess so.
Well, until that's a Wedge and
I guess
Lando.
that Y-Wing was slowly on its way to the Death Star the whole time this fight was happening.
It needed a head start from everybody else.
Yeah, I guess I'll 3 straight. You guys keep going, doing whatever you want.
But your question on Adon Fox, there's actually Adon Fox was in the mentioned only in the Star Wars Squadron's video game, was in the Blade Squadron, some stuff about Blade Squadron, which is the main B-Wing squadron in that Battle of Endor.
Right.
Adon Fox had reached the rank of Wing Commander and the leader or the helm of Blade Squadron in the Battle of Endor for the B-Wing. So,
awesome.
Worked with Lieutenant Braylon Strom and Cadet Gina
Cadet?
Moonsong's a cadet at I-5. What is this? We have some ordering issues. Gina Moonsong is an I-5 cadet and Braylon is an I-4 lieutenant.
Well,
I wonder what Adon. If Adon is a wing commander, is this an I-6 B-Wing? Are we getting another one?
Ooh, could be.
That'd be dope.
We have Hera, but she's too expensive with that powerful ability.
Yeah.
So maybe. Also, support B-Wings has always been weird. Braylon and 10 has always been the best ones because they get extra offense.
Mods.
Well, they benefit from doing those stress maneuvers and those linked red actions.
They use it on an offensive or defensive basis to help the mod. So gives the ship access to easy mods, doing maneuvers and action choices that already are mainstays of the chassis itself. I'm really hopeful that this Endor can give us good B-Wings, because right now we only kind of have Gina, the custom Gina, who's okay with the whole
she's worth her
proton cannon.
She's worth 4 points. I think we can agree on that. But are the other ones worth it at 5?
No,
probably not.
Not when Fen Rao and Luke and boy Luke exist.
Yeah, there's a lot of competition at that 5-point slot for Rebels, so they're missing out on it. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think with Leia going up in price and obviously advanced sensors being a banned card, we really haven't been able to see a real crazy B-Wing out there. They're kind of stuck just being a weapons platform rather than the knife fighter that I always imagined them to be. Well, what about Kendi Idell? Another X-Wing pilot. I don't know who Kendi or Endor is.
So it looks like, going through this correctly, Kendi and Endor are both from Lost Stars? Appearances in Lost Stars. Yep.
Yeah.
There's a Lost Stars audiobook, the actual, and then apparently there's a web comic in Lost Stars as well, where you can actually see it's like basic black and white comic style, maybe even a little bit of a
Closer to like
Japanese
a classic
manga hints a
manga.
little bit
Yeah.
there. But
Yeah.
both of them are from Lost Stars, Kendi and Yendor.
Oh,
So
Endor actually lived on to fight in the Battle of Crate against the First Order as well.
Wait, really?
That's what I'm reading.
Oh,
Well, I'm looking
cool.
at a toy leak named Yendor Brethren.
Yeah. Sorry, I guess to clarify, yeah, Yendor's a Twi'lek, and then I think Kendi is a human.
Yeah, human.
Interesting. It is that point of time for the for like the lore of like the rebellion, to where this is like where you know, a lot of these characters got moved into the New Republic, and then they went on into like further their military careers. So it was very interesting to see the snapshot of time where these. I mean, you said Gina is a cadet, and like, yeah, that blows my mind. It's not how I think of her.
Yeah. Also, Kendi was also instrumental in the Battle of Jakku.
Ooh.
More as a she assaulted one of the Star Destroyers.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she got some experience dealing with these big
But
Star
yeah,
Destroyers.
really good friends with Thane, actually.
Oh, that thing.
Oh, that thing.
He's making friends. Let me tell you. Moving on to the Imperials. We still have the Captain Yor that was announced or spoiled at last year's Adepticon. Those defenders get the... Was it Yor or was it Jendon that was spoiled last year?
They spoiled the I-4.
Yor. Yes. That's the one who can... The new defenders, they get free locks instead of free evades.
Yep,
They can,
free locks, and then could shoot twice, I think. Once with primary, once with a cannon.
attack.
It's kind of like a built-in TIE D style.
After you perform a primary that hits, you can spend one of your 2 non-recurring charges to perform a bonus cannon attack, of which they only have the ion cannon.
The ion cannon.
Yep, you can do it twice a game. Yeah.
Yep.
And isn't it where is it? Sorry, I'm looking at our old image here. Just engineering. Oh yeah, it's also a just engineering is while attacking. If you are not stressed, you may spend a shield to apply the range 1 bonus.
Yeah.
So you can spend a shield as long as you're not stressed to be like Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah.
And it's not just for primaries either.
Yeah.
It does not. It would count for the ion cannon. If you want to drop 2 shields on it, I mean, you can. You can.
Yeah. It's gonna be more interesting when we get to Jendon.
Yes.
And we'll have to see what Jendon has.
Yeah,
we don't have his card yet officially out.
But yeah, very exciting stuff. The other TIE defenders was that Colonel Jendon. We have Mouse Manner in the Interceptor. We have Sapphire 2 in the Interceptor. Suntir Fell in the Interceptor. Lieutenant Hebsley in the TIE Fighter. Major Miranda in the TIE Fighter. A Scythe 6 in the TIE Fighter. And then Scimitar 1 and 3. Everybody's favorite movie character. Scimitar 1 and 3.
No, I know it's hard to not say Miranda, but there is no R in there. It's Mianda.
Mianda.
But yeah, you're not the only one who immediately is like, it's Miranda.
Miranda Donnie.
Yeah.
Major Miranda Donnie.
So we have 2 defenders, 3 interceptors, 3 fighters, 2 bombers. Very good split in that one.
Yeah, I mean, the defenders are going to be scary out there, so I don't... I would expect them to be in fewer numbers.
It's very interesting how they chose basically the what we know as Lambda shuttle pilots for both of the defenders in this.
Yeah, that is weird, isn't it? They're traditionally Vader and the Emperor Palpatine's Lambda pilots.
But hey, if they wanted to highlight them but not put the Lambda in this pack, since it technically hasn't been uh, put in its standard play or re-released yet,
Right.
there you go. It's one way to do it. Put them in the super superiority advanced defender.
Right. Well, we've gone over it before when we're looking at why they name certain things certain ways, and a lot of it is it's way harder to make up a new character than just to like
For
pull
sure.
one that's already approved.
Yep.
Which is why we see things like Sapphire 2 and Size 6 just to kind of fill in those extra pilots instead of the lengthy approval process.
I will say, so zooming in on the top cards that we can see right now, we've seen the wedge before. He's full is way back at last Adepticon, but we see a preview of Mouse there, Mouse Monair, with an additional shield, so an interceptor with a shield. Sensitive controls still, so I'm going to assume all interceptors have that. So you assume to your fans, be prepared. You're going to have sensitive controls, would be my guess.
We would assume.
And after you perform an evade action, gain a calculate token. That's a really good ability for Mouse, and that is not charge based. That's just like that is what it is. So
Pseudo force.
I don't know how many points Mouse
great.
is going to be, but is I3. I assume it's still going to hang around 4 points, like our other interceptors have been from Yavin.
Yavin has 4 health interceptors at 4 points as well.
Yeah,
that's correct. All the Sigmas were 4 hull.
And we can assume that Mouse will also have the same like scenario ability, like how Wedge has it's a trap. I think the Empire one's called No Escape.
Yes.
So we can, I think we can assume that off of the No Escape, while you perform a primary attack, if there are more friendly ships than enemy ships at range 0 to 1 of the defender, you roll 1 of your attack dice. So more of your friends around who you're shooting, you get a reroll.
Terrifying. Those kind of swarm tactics the Empire is going to have to delve into. We can take a look at, like I said, we already saw Wedge previewed earlier. The only thing I want to touch on Wedge is that they fixed S foils. So now it's when after you boost, gain a deplete token, which is the gotcha of how are my wings. It was always, it's interesting that's a choice, but either way.
I like that as future proofing. Like, it's just way simpler than just flipping a card.
There's flipping cards.
You can boost, but you just get a deplete token.
How are your wings? Like, are you using a wing token, or you were tracking it with a card? Yeah, it became a lot of problems.
Way easier.
Yeah, at I-6 too, the option to always be able to boost as well, even when you might not think you would have. Very exciting. Well, let's take a look at this. Jemmer Sojin, an I-2 A-Wing. As we see here, it does have the ship ability vectored cannons, so you get that rotate in the system phase and the 2 dice turret out your front or back. Same stat line as always for the A-Wing. Has the ability, while defending, you may gain 1 strain token to change up to 2 of your blank results to eyeball results. Wow. What is that tri-fighter that you love that takes a bunch of string?
Oh yeah, T-81.
Yeah.
T-81 from SOC, or aka what some of the community is called Funny Reroll Man.
Exactly. Yeah. But this one allows the instant conversion. So you blank out, or roll like 2 eyeballs and something, right? Or 2 blanks and something. A simple strain, and especially if it's the last or only attack on you and you haven't needed the strain, because that follow-up attack on you is going to be devastating, where you're out a focus token and you're strained.
For sure.
We do have it's a trap, of course. It says if you're defending, if there's more friendly ships than enemy ships at range 1, you can reroll 1 of your blank results. So in theory, could get
Could
from
touch all three
blank
of their
out.
dice.
Blank out into 3 evades pretty easily. We do see a cannon peeking out.
Yeah, that's PR cannon. So I assume that's
Proton?
cannons.
We'd
Yeah,
assume.
but proton cannon is 2 cannon slots, not 1 though.
This is a single. I mean,
What other
Oh.
cannon do we have that starts with PR?
Could
Does
be
it need to be-
something brand
does it-
new, or it's a misprint.
well, I mean, it's a standard loadout, so they don't have to. I don't think there is a double icon standard loadout.
Yeah, we've had barrage rockets correctly double missile before.
and it was double. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? You are right.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Yeah, for
So a
Axe
brand,
and the
so
Torrent, or like
Mhm.
some of the TIE bombers that have gotten
Yeah.
it. So yeah,
the Diamond
if
Boron
it's,
missile.
if it's normally meant to be doubled, it is. So
Interesting.
this,
So a new
it's
type
either
of.
maybe a slight misprint, or it's a new cannon.
I mean, it's got a long name, so I'd imagine prototype something could be it.
Oh.
Could be prototype whatever, right?
Sure.
That's cool.
It'd be really cool for, you can always point your cannon out the front, and then
Mhm.
you can have your arc pointed to the back, unless this is a cannon that rotates with your vectored cannons.
Maybe
I
it's
don't
like
know.
a heavy weapons turret. Maybe. Very interesting though. I love the cannon on the A-wings. Could be very, very powerful. But we don't know much else other than he's got 2 other abilities that are modifications. So maybe some offensive rerolls. You know what I'm saying? Stop with this defense, Jammer.
I definitely think if so. Now let's move on to our other cards so we can maybe do some point speculation.
Sure.
think
Let's get through them all. Then we'll maybe talk. Oh, no, geez, all of them. Yeah. Okay, so this is the other. I'll close out here. So we saw the front, the back, and then these are the official spoiled cards. We'll mention the turbo battery, which I assume is off of the Death Star, and then the
should be off this
be
Super Star Destroyer.
okay, I guess that's true. They're pretty big, these ships, so they probably also have these turbo laser batteries placed on them. But we do see the full spread here for the command bridge, and we don't want to go too deep into it because we don't really know the rules, but we can see that it gets multiple shields back per round, up to 3 with its battle stations ability. Has 20 health, and we assume no agility. It says why you defend it,
Probably
attack
not.
range
It's
3.
just kind of sitting there.
It's got 20 something health and multiple shields that come back per round. But it does say here at the bottom, during the end phase, if your damage tracker has 5 or more, recover 1 fewer. And if your damage tracker has reached 10 or more, so about halfway through, your shields stop recovering. So that initial assault is very big for this scenario. Really had to punch through those shields and get damage cards onto this thing. It talks about damage tracking, which there's a little thing we can show afterwards, but it's got a special way to track damage instead of a damage deck. And it could either get shields back at the start of the system phase, or it can calculate and a reinforcement for the turbo laser batteries, which we do see have. Well, I guess you can't really see it when I'm zoomed in here. That they do have 2 attack and 6 hull, but with a bunch of crazy abilities on them too. So, to me, pretty easy assessment of like the rules of engagement that for this scenario that you're probably gonna have to take down the command bridge, just like the invisible hand in that scenario. But you're gonna have to weigh your options of how often do you attack the turbo lasers versus just attacking the bridge head on, versus attacking enemy fighters, which are going to be coming in numbers. So, lot of objective decisions. How that all works, we'll save a whole episode talking about it when you get those rules. But for now, we'll skip over that. Talk about these cards. We'll save Lando. I'm saving the Lando for last because we can spend a long time on Lando. Just noting the wedge that we saw earlier, and then the Tycho. I don't think we had seen anything for this Tycho officially previewed at last year's Adepticon.
The first that we got for sure, yeah.
And it says something about disarm and a rocket. So assuming this thing could probably reload.
That's huge because normally A-Wings can't reload, but we can see the action right there. Focus, link into red reload.
Yeah.
Focus, red reload. Wow.
Yeah.
So,
and I assume it says while you're disarmed, you can still
blah blah
perform,
blah, and then
perform attack.
rocket attacks while disarmed. Like it says while disarmed. So
oh man,
there's more to it. So maybe there's a limit. Remember how crap, what was it? Remember the cannon gunboats where you like only have some. Is that still the thing right now? The cannon gunboats.
You can't roll
you
a fourth die on cannon gunboats. Either range 1 ions or the. I guess you could put proton cannons on them. That's not a thing anymore. I know not the proton cannons, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Do the ASB.
I don't look at extended. So.
Well, I mean they put major vendor down.
It does say that while you're disarmed, roll a maximum of 3 dice.
Yeah, so could be something similar.
So this Tycho does have 3 shields. 3 shields, 2 hull.
Oh, okay.
And it's I-5, so we might be looking at it's could be. I mean, so it's a missile attack, right? So. Which,
well, we just assume rockets because it's an A-wing, but it could be like concussion missiles or something.
And it has focus into.
Yeah, focus into reload.
Yeah, but we've had other ships that have like the reload where, like it doesn't.
Oh, like evade into reload.
Like evade to reload.
Yeah.
It might just like here instead of just reloading and being a dud ship flying in space, because the reload action is honestly one of the worst actions. Like, it's really bad. Like you want to get a thing back to shoot better. But now you have no mods whatsoever. Like maybe it's just
in a 5 to 7 round game. Yeah.
Exactly, right? So like if you're gonna reload, like it could just be like at least you can have a modification to defend yourself.
Let's
hey, if it is something like prockets, like neat, then I get to shoot it because I'm Tycho. That's really cool.
Terrifying. I do want to address a question from Doc Reichter. From our chat, I probably mispronounced your name, but I love to see you here. The abilities here, like we see vectored cannons, the interceptors had sensitive controls. There is a current ruling out that even though the upgrade card, vectored cannons or sensitive controls, is standardized, it does not require you to put those standardized upgrades on customizable pilots if you took the standard loadout. So, as an example, you could have currently a Sigma 6 interceptor with its sensitive controls, and you can fly right alongside of it a customized Soontir Fel without sensitive controls. So the same thing would apply for this Tycho and the vectored cannons. They could have Hera in your squad if you're mixing the standard loadouts and not standard loadouts. You could have Hera with the thrusters, and this Tycho with vectored cannons. So there's already a precedent for that. But I like the rear turrets myself for the A-Wings.
Yeah. I especially like rear turrets when you also get a secondary gun that goes forward. Like we saw January that has some type of cannon. We don't know if it's a bullseye or full arc or whatever, or range band specific. If Tycho has a brand new missile that is full arc, awesome. If it's bullseye, I mean, without vector thrusters, that might get a little more difficult to line that up as you want to. Unless there's more focus linked to reposition on the action bar that we don't see.
I mean, an unmoving ISD or SSD should be pretty easy to bullseye.
Yeah.
You would hope.
Yeah, that's the other part. It does have that in mind. We're like, hey, you're just shooting a big bridge here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Go too straight and focus reload. Yeah. Whatever it is, yeah. Keep shooting it.
All right, my Lando's. I gotta move my Lando over. But here she is. Oh boy. Lando Calrissian. I gotta fix my camera on it. So, Ryan, take us away with Lando
Alright.
Calrissian.
So let's start with all the base stats and action bar stuff to make sure we don't miss
Yeah.
anything.
Strap
This
in.
is a Lando. This is I5. So we haven't deviated
Maybe.
from our initiative value. We have 3 attack dice, normal bow tie for the Falcon. We have 1 defense dice, 8 hull, 5 shields. So all the base stats are the same for the chassis right now. It has 2 charges, non-reoccurring. That ties into his ability, which is at the start of the activation phase. When you activate, you may spend 1 charge. So you can do this twice a game. If you do, choose an initiative value from 1 to 6. You activate at that initiative phase. So obviously, the very likely immediate thing people are gonna be like, oh, twice a game I get to activate at I6 and maybe move last. Like, yes, that's true. You could also act at I1 and get in everyone's way.
Yeah, this is also just as timing goes. This is immediately after you just roll for road.
System
Yep,
phase
you do get
is
to know
part
road.
of the activation. Is that correct? What is that? What
No.
you're trying to say?
No, no.
System phase and then into activation. But at the end of system, you roll road.
No.
the start
Before
of it.
system, you roll road. It's at planning phase end, roll road.
Oh, you're
system
right. I'm
phase.
sorry. Yes, it's just yeah. So
Either
system,
way,
and then
you know road before
after
you
road,
see, before you choose. So, yes, if you're like, I'll just take initiative 4 because I am second player versus your I5 and I want to move before you. Things like that. Very flexible ability, but only twice per game.
Just make a count and choose the. I mean, like we said, the very common one's going to be I'm going to be I6 and move last. Like, it's a pretty good trick.
Yeah.
Because also coupled with the action bar, we have a focus, a lock, an evade, all white, still a red boost, white rotate, and very interestingly, a red coordinate, which if you're going to maybe activate I6, probably doesn't need to be red, but links into a red focus. And you're like, wait a minute, how could you even do that? How could you red action to another red action? Well, this is Lando's high stakes abilities where this comes into play. After you perform a red action, you may roll an attack die. On a hit or crit result, remove the stress. So you have a 50-50 chance to remove the stress after you boost, red coordinate, or red, or even from the red coordinate and link red focus. That could be all white potentially.
Yeah, that's a lot going on there. Essentially, just a free coordinate. On a chance of a die, a free coordinate.
Yeah, we know that like Ayla Secura crew in Republic, that purple coordinate into white focus is actually a very powerful combination to basically still have any modification and coordinate at the same time when you have a real gun, which Lando Falcon absolutely has a real gun with a 3-die attack on a turret. So I mean, it's a risk, but this is the Lando's a gambling man type of thing, right? High stakes. If you hit the 50-50, even if you just hit the first 50-50, I'm probably still happy taking the red focus anyway. Let alone, you might not even have to be stressed at all.
That's true. You were mentioning about how it is nice to coordinate at I6. I mean, that flexibility in the initiative as well, coordinating somebody before they K-turn, coordinating somebody before they a bear roll so they don't run into the ship who tried to block them, could be very advantageous. But I guess you have to plan that out at the start of activation. So really got to see that battlefield map in great detail to be able to identify what and when the initiative you should activate at. That's just crazy talk. Free coordinates. Unbelievable.
Well,
Free.
roll better if you want.
As did I lose it? We lost it.
What?
You're still there.
No, we hear you, Will.
Anyways, I thought I lost you. Let's keep going then.
James, you want to take the 2 talent slots there, or maybe
Two
probably,
talent
I don't know,
slots.
just well, we already know one of them. Just as far as you want to go down the upgrade path, have fun.
All right. Ace in the hole. 2 charges. So these are separate from the 2 charges that are that are used for the pilot ability. At the start of the engagement phase, you may spend a charge and gain a jam token to perform a roll action. That's right. This guy can be rolling. You thought Poe was cool. This guy can do it at the start of engagement.
That's insane, actually.
Yeah, so can activate at I6 and can take actions at I9 or whatever.
Or, like, activate the lowest because you can guarantee yourself an action and block up some space, block opposing ships, and then roll off of them to then shoot them at I5.
Yeah, because you could white boost too. White boost on in, roll the stress away, and then roll your ship away.
Yeah, keep in mind that this is a regular perform barrel action. It doesn't say you get to ignore your stress. So if you are stressed, you can't ace in the hole. But hey, you know what's like everything we know about jam right now in this game is lock a rock. Like Lando just gets to ignore that jam at least once.
True. I didn't think about that. Yeah, you could absolutely do that. Huh. All right. Twice a game. Very exciting. We'll move on to It's a Trap. That is what we saw before. I'll reread it again in case you skipped to this segment. While defending, if there are more other friendly ships than enemy ships at range 0 to 1, you may reroll one of your blank results. So get some friends, and they'll give you defensive rerolls. Then we have 9 nub. That's right, 7, 8, 9 nub. Increase or decrease the difficulty of your bank maneuvers. They traditionally have just the 2 bank on their dial, so this is going to give you the 1 bank and the 3 bank. As 9 is Lando's Chewbacca flying that co-pilot seat. It's going to help him shed those stress if Lando risks it and can't roll the stress away. I guess I didn't think about that. That also would work for bump focuses, correct? Bump is still
for Han's high stake. Yeah, it just says perform red action. Doesn't need to be in your perform action step.
Interesting. Okay.
So Han's high stakes can work on
Lando.
Bump focuses.
I know it's
Lando,
a Falcon, but it's Lando.
I know it's hard.
Yeah. So that's 9 nub. What's the next ability for us, Ryan?
So I kind of predicted this one in my head. I'm like, Aaron Kraken or Lieutenant Blount have like gotta be an upgrade card on this Lando because they were both gunners on that Falcon during the Battle of Endor. So we got Aaron Kraken, very cool. After defending, if the attack hit, so if you got attacked and they hit you, you may gain 1 deplete token to perform a bonus primary attack targeting the attacker. So this is basically like Dengar, but you take a deplete for it. So the attack back is going to be 1 die less, whether it's range 1 or range 2 to 3. But attacking twice is good. We know that, right? It's not Han attack twice. Your opponent can control it more because it's who attacks. Excuse me. It's who attacks Lando, not just like Bistan straight up choosing 2 targets. But the nice thing is it can be the same target Lando already shot at, or maybe will shoot at when he goes to shoot. So you can make a ship shooting at you at range 1 that you're also looking at extremely scared.
Yeah, after you barreled into range 1, yeah.
Absolutely. Or did all these special actions, right?
Yeah, what happened to 8 nub?
What? Oh, well,
I get it.
I don't know what to tell you. All I know is
10
7, 8, 9. So that's what happened to 9. Anyways, this is terrible. We got to move on from that. Anyway, so
and
yeah.
the last one here is a Millennium Falcon, very similar to its normal version, but while attacking or defending, if you have a non-lock red or orange token, you may reroll 1 die. So very similar in the defending side. If you have usually it's if you are evading,
Right.
but while attacking or defending, this time it's just a non-lock red or orange. So it could that red could be from the stress that you're doing the coordinate focus from, or it could even be from that ace in the hole jam.
Can I ask a rules question about that? Like strain, do you not remove the strain token until you are done defending? You would not remove your deplete token until you're done attacking? So that Aaron...
I was wondering about if Aaron Kraken basically auto triggers your Millennium Falcon title.
I would assume so.
Probably the intent.
I don't believe you remove those until after you're done attacking. That's what we had to change it because of how Finn interacted with strain tokens in that way, that you couldn't remove them automatically and give yourself a new trigger later on.
Yeah, but you are we'll have to look at that, because I know you are immediately going to be like suffering from having that deplete, because it says because in Aaron Kraken you gain the deplete and then you can perform the bonus attack.
Right.
If you already subtracted that dice, does that deplete still existent throughout your whole attack die like modification step? And you're probably right, it is, because when Finn originally had that problem, he was able to see the thing with Finn though is he got the strain during his modification step,
right?
And the problem was he just got rid of it instantly without incurring the negative of that.
True.
I think you actually it had to be part of you rolling the dice, otherwise it stuck around.
Let's check on Yasby. Yasby has a great rules section. If you ever question anything and you're playing X-Wing and can have access to Yasby, they have a rules section, and it says from theirs, after a depleted ship applies the effect to run fewer attack dice in this way, it removes 1 deplete token. So
so because you would have already rolled the 1 less dice, that deplete then goes away.
So it would be removed after the gather dice or roll dice step, whatever they call it these days.
Right. Yeah, because I think that was how you made sure Fenn had to keep the strain, because he got it during the modification step. Yeah.
Interesting. So it doesn't sound like it does work.
It does not work.
No. Because you would immediately remove it, and now you won't be depleted for the modify.
You know what does work? Step. Being stressed or jamming yourself with Ace in the Hole.
It does.
This Lando could be stressed a whole lot, or could be jamming himself for the roll. So,
here's... Oh, sorry, go ahead. Finish your thought.
No, that's it. Just noting those things.
Speaking of orange and red tokens, the TIE Defender that was spoiled last Adepticon had an ion cannon. Wouldn't it be a shame if 1 ion token got stuck on this Lando?
Hey, you know what would be pretty easy? Is just fly over a gas cloud with this Lando. Just incur 1 ion token once, and I'm good. I get rerolls all the time now.
You get reroll focus. Just fly over a gas cloud. Well, I assume there won't be...
That is
3 in 8 chance.
That's while attacking or defending. So
No, it's 50-50 on gas clouds. Because you
No,
get
but you'll
one.
get three.
well,
you get three.
you
ion
don't
con-
you don't want the
Wow.
crit one. You don't want the crit one.
Yeah. Yeah.
then you get 3 ions, and you're actually
Oh,
ioned.
yeah. I guess you're right.
Yeah.
That is 3 and 8 of, okay.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
do have a
Interesting.
1 in 8 chance of being really sad about it.
Or-
There's a high
Oh,
likely
no,
that there's no gas clouds in this scenario.
Yeah.
So this would
Yeah.
be only for
'Cause
playing it
Ion
in a
Bomb
custom game.
does 3, right?
Ion Bomb
does
does 3.
Yeah,
Honor
so
Net does 3.
3.
So you would be, you'd have an orange token on you. Or those are
Yeah,
red.
you'd have
Those are red
3 of them for
tokens,
that one
rather.
Those are red. Yeah.
And it's non-lock, so
Uh,
your friend just can't lock you, and you'd be happy about it.
Yeah, they
I-
figured out that was you can't
Matchstick.
be doing that.
Matchstick never getting it routed to say non-lock.
This is probably a dumb question, but you know how when they adjusted the rule for obstacles that when you land on an obstacle, when you would leave, you don't suffer the effects
Right.
again.
If you started at
I
ring
assume
0.
that's how it works. That's not a may or must scenario, right? Like you may still suffer the effects, but no one wants to. This
No.
Lando might with gas clouds.
No, oh yeah. I don't think
Yeah,
that's a may.
I'm assuming you don't get to choose because giving players agency in that sounds only wrong.
Yeah, it sounds like you're just going to encourage Dead Man Switch ships to just kamikaze into rocks.
Or this.
Or
So yeah,
this.
fly over gas cloud once in the beginning of the game with Lando, and try and get that 1 ion, and then you literally have a reroll the rest of the game.
Yeah, so, no, long story short, the Deplete and the Falcon should not interact. So you're really looking for the stress and the jam. Or ion tokens from other enemy ships. Very exciting. Greg
And
asked
that's
me
it.
to price these.
Oh yeah,
Upgrades.
Is it time to talk pricing
I
about
mean,
these?
I'm going to hit mine just real fast. At least 4 points for high stakes. At least 5 points for ace in the hole. It's a trap is probably 4, similar to elusive. 9 is obviously 5. Aaron Kraken is a bonus attack, so like start that bidding at like 7 plus.
But it's.
I'm
It-
conservative at 7
Yeah.
there for a bonus attack.
I would probably say 6 because you have to attack the attacker and you have to gain a deplete.
Okay, wait. Why are we pricing out upgrade cards on an SL card? Can we just price the whole card?
Someone just asked.
Yeah, okay.
And then Millennium Falcon's free because
That
I'm
is
just
free.
not going to price it. So that puts me about 25 to 30 different for loadout of this Lando. That would be my estimate, even though it's hard to price some of these things. Which would put him in having more loadout than what his customized version would have. Though customized version gonna get that Bistan though. Don't need Aaron Kraken.
Oh, it's always nice to attack twice with a Falcon like this. So, all right, do we want to go backwards from Lando to all the other stuff for pricing, or do we want to save Lando for last since we know the most about a new one? And
Just overall, yeah, we don't have to do upgrade pricing. I was just saying because I already.
yeah, I know it would
type
just be
that in
overall
the chat.
SL price for these.
Yeah,
Well,
what do
mostly
you
or fully?
think for Lando? Currently, I think all other Falcons are priced at 7. Is Ray 7 as well?
Yep.
Ray and Poe in their Resistance Falcons, which do have less
Chew-
shields.
Chewie in Resistance is 6. I think
Yeah.
he's 7 in Rebel. I think it's the only 6 cost Falcon that is a 3-die attack Falcon. Scum Falcon
right.
does exist, but it's
It's not the Falcon.
not good.
I actually tried to Lando, and I was like, why did I choose to
What
fly
did I
this
do?
Lando? I was like, it's only 5 points. No, not great.
I would be extremely surprised to see this Lando less than 7.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for
Now,
sure.
granted, I get that competes with Han, but you can have them both in the same list. Like, that's allowed. I will bring Kyo, Lando, Han, and I'll find another 3-pointer and see what happens.
Oh.
Yeah, home.
Or wedge. Little wedge, maybe.
Little tiny baby wedge. Yeah, I mean, I want this to be 8.
Yeah.
because
Oh,
of the
man.
coordinate. The coordinate is what I think pushes it over the edge for me.
Lando could already coordinate without even using his action, though. And I know it was only at I5, and you can twice a game make it I6,
yeah.
which, yes, has its power.
Well,
I mean,
spoiler alert.
There's definitely a lot of good stuff there, but man, 8 points. I don't know
I
if it
also,
ever
I
gets
also
played.
think, I also think all the other Falcons should go up to 8. If you could shoot twice in your Falcon, you should go back up to 8.
We are discussing a timeline to where there are a lot more points than just the points
Oh,
given in Endor.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm expecting, because it's a new standard loadout, that we're going to see this debuted at 7. If they, James, what is your opinion on that?
I think if they debut at 7, it's gonna shake up too much.
It hits playtime, that's for sure.
You really think it's going to be that big of a thing? If
I mean, it's just
yeah,
a choice now, but
yeah, a possibility of coordinate into focus at I6 plus the double tap plus the barrel roll. Yeah.
Yeah, because what is the maximum? I'm trying to think of using every ability possible. You activate at I6, you move up, you coordinate, you roll, but you fail the roll, so you end up with coordinate, focus, stress. Or no, you don't want the stress because then you can't barrel roll. So
yeah, you cannot roll if you're stressed. Yeah.
You move at I6,
Yeah,
you
and
coordinate,
I guess
you focus,
if you do
barrel
the red
roll.
focus, you don't plan on doing the jam. But if you, so I mean, something
Lock.
could show up,
Round
and you're
one
like,
lock.
I need to move, so you can.
Oh, round
And,
one lock.
well,
you called it out.
Yeah, round 1 lock.
Yeah, as I mentioned, you can knock off your own lock easy.
Yeah. I think this does prevent double reposition because you have to do the barrel roll is an action, so I don't think you can boost and.
If you get your high stakes roll, you're not going to be stressed after the boost.
Of course. Yeah, forward action, of course.
That's what I'm saying. That I1 4 forward boost, not stressed, and then start a combat barrel roll off of everybody you just blocked. They won't see that one coming.
Depending on how much you block, yeah.
Could be pretty good. Pretty good.
Sure be a shame if you ran into me, and then when I barreled around you, you no longer have me in arc, and I get to shoot you. Sure be a shame.
Sure. Yeah. Taking a look at the other pilots, we saw their wedge spoiled. The wedge, I mean, I don't think they can price it at 6. Got to be a 5 point.
I could see it go either way, to be honest. That is a powerful wedge.
It does have the extra
wedge we're used to.
shield and
Yeah,
a couple
it's got
other
an extra
things.
shield.
I
And
never saw the extra shield. Yeah.
yeah, it's got an extra shield. And remember, after you perform an attack, if it hits, you just gain a focus. It's kind of like Whisper-esque by Whisper, the Whisper pilot in the TIE Phantom, who was, if the attack hit, you get an evade back.
Yeah.
So you can spend your focus offensively to help push a shot through. And if you get it hit, you're going to get it back for defense.
Yeah, we pulled up those. We pulled up the thing before. His other abilities were acquire free locks, get free focus tokens, advanced plasma torpedoes, those range 1 5 dicers, and Predator. Or what did I say?
Advanced plasma torpedo. I'd be really interested in what that is.
Just remove all shields if this attack hits.
Combined with advanced proton torp and R2A3.
Active core of an action, spend their single charge to acquire a lock. So you roll up focus lock.
So and it has both ways to repo with a focus. So you can focus boost, take a deplete, and shoot a 4-die advanced proton torp with a lock because R3A2 after the reposition, or you can barrel focus, keep it to full 5s. Yeah.
Oh, he'll find his. I mean, but it's just one big attack. One charge for R2, one charge for advanced proton.
Yeah, but I mean, even if it's not a big attack like you're advanced, you still have Predator to help out.
Yeah, you'll have Predator and you'll have defensive rerolls and modifiers and stuff like that.
Yeah, but if you
potentially
manage to save that lock, this is like on the opening engagement, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say though, like, we've known from playing, or people know this if they played Luke enough. Luke's really not there to be stressed. So Wedge is getting stressed to do some of these linked actions to set this up. The turns after generally aren't that great when a T65 is stressed, especially if they did it at range 1 to hit something.
Sure.
They hope there's something behind them or on a banking path to go after something else or a scenario.
Yeah.
Um,
I could.
I mean,
In
I
what
could
you're
see this wedge
describing.
being 5 or 6, but I don't know how much play it sees if it is 6. I think it definitely sees a lot of consideration at 5, though.
So
I mean,
do you think
the
this is as good as Boy Luke?
I don't think it's better, so 5 sounds about right.
yeah, I think this will be a hard sell versus a customizable. Comparing this to customizable Luke at 6
Well, you can
points.
have both.
No, I'm saying comparing the two. Like if they're both
Oh,
6 points, like a customizable Luke looks way better.
well, you're not even taking customizable Luke, 'cause you're taking Boy Luke.
Wow. Yeah. Exactly. So
But
the
yeah, like if this wedge is 6, you're also comparing that to like a Chopper VCX.
True. I know. It's going to be a hard sell at 6. Not unreasonable, but a hard sell. But like in
Yeah,
this, I'm trying to think of like in this scenario though, whereas in like the standard dogfight, or well, the game of X-Wing as it is right now, the stress would be like impactful because like all the enemy ships might fly past you and you won't be able to turn around. But in the scenario though, you just blast the first defender that comes near you and then you just keep going towards the objective, the command bridge or whatever they called.
Yeah.
So he's gonna be really good in the scenario, but
Yeah, as we look around, like if Tycho gets a proton rocket and this wedge with his big attack, like there is a solid, really strong single attack coming under that bridge once. That seems to be like a really good potential, like tactic to use in that scenario. It's like, all right, set up Tycho, set up Wedge, and whoever else is there. Lando help them out, coordinate them
Right.
as they need to, and hit that bridge as hard as possible in one good turn strike, and then that way it can't regen it.
Sure. Very true. This Tycho, normal Tycho right now priced at 4.
Don't know
Though
anything about any of the actual missile or anything beyond
No.
its trap.
no,
It is an
feel
extra
like
shield A-wing at I-5.
yeah, I feel like whatever he's doing with his missiles, the extra shield, I feel like we could see this at 5 points. It might be a tough sell, but if this is at 4, the new standard 4-pointer, at least for A-wings, anyways. Would you concur with that?
I think Tycho's probably going to be 4. I think if you put it at 5, you're in Ahsoka territory, which has 3 force, and that's not happening. And I would really be hard pressed to see this Tycho be 3 points.
No.
So, I think this is a 4-point Tycho.
Okay. Well, I mean, if he's got like some outmaneuver or something hidden underneath it there, maybe. Well, outmaneuver wouldn't work, but something crazy like that, right? Where it's just like get a bunch of mods or recover your shields if you hit or something. Who knows? It could be crazy. Yeah, very exciting.
The rest of it. What I see now, I see a 4-point A-wing.
Gremmer, depending on that cannon, I think was going to be the difference in if he's 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And I really want Gemmer to be 3. That sounds great to have that pocket ship at I2. That if you look at him with only one ship, he's really hard to do damage to because he basically is going to say no to 2 of your results every time.
Every time, if he's got a focus token. Yeah, at 3 points could start rivaling Keo out there as like the lone wolf in quotations, flank in a lot of rebel squads.
Who knows? Han, Keo, Lando, Gemmer. There's your 6. There's your 7.
That's true. 3. That's true. Pretty good. Let's see then. The last one is, what do you call it? You're calling it mouse? That's not how I would say that, but I guess that is correct.
I like calling it mouse. Just because I get to use the little mouse emoji now whenever I talk about him.
Mouse.
Mouse.
Yeah, anything but 4 points for this guy is going to be crazy.
Yeah, like if it's 3, it's like, what is even happening here? unless some of the upgrades on him actually have negative effects to counteract. Maybe like if you would take an evade action, you need to like get a calc, but then you get something bad, or I don't know. Have we seen negative upgrades on SLs before that like detract from it to help lower its value? I don't think we have.
I don't think so, but I will say that there is a lot of empty space on the bottom of the upgrade side of that card, so there may not be a ton of upgrades on it. It could just be like Predator or something, you know.
I'm right there.
I mean,
like,
the little talent icon's really high up at the top, and it's kind of small too. Like, you could have either a couple things that just have a lot of words.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Maybe.
If you look, like you can see
that talent is probably going to be the same one that we have for the no escape, right?
Yeah, very likely
No
no
escape.
escape.
And then we see another icon right below that that's not a talent. So, yeah, I don't know. I would probably say any interceptor that's 4 health probably should be 4 points, but
I feel like there could be one interceptor at 3 points with 4 health, but you have to be very careful as to what the ability is that you choose. Like,
so we're getting Suntir, Mouse, and then the what is it, like Scythe 2 or something?
Scythe 6.
No, Sapphire 2.
Oh, Sapphire 2.
Sapphire 2 is the interceptor.
I don't know anything
Scythe
about Sapphire
6
Squadron.
TIE fighter in the list.
Yeah, bombers as well could be interesting. I was hoping that they would get spoiled. I'm a bomber fanatic this year. Let's go. Last year, I was a bomber fanatic last year.
This year, probably still gonna be a
might be a bomber. No, I'm done playing Empire. I'm over it. I now feel bad launching bombs with Deathfire. It was fun.
You should. You should.
I know I should. I do. Hey, I played plenty of games with them where I didn't launch anything, so we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, potential for shakeups. We'll go back to that original post here. We'll kind of close out our thoughts, I guess, on if it's legal. What do you think the impact? Oh, you know what? I didn't show one last thing. If you are watching on our YouTubes, they did show from the website how the turbo batteries work. They look very similar to like commando tokens without
without
pegs.
Guides. That's
Nubs.
surprising.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm very surprised there's no guides there.
It is interesting that it shows you the lines to know if you're... Well, it's reinforcing is what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
You could reinforce a turbo laser, so you do need that halfway mark. But I guess if you're like have an ability, if you need to be directly behind somebody, you need all those little hash marks. But very interesting. But you can see that you could track their health, and then for each of the 4 turbo batteries.
Yeah. And then I think there's also a health board for the main one too, right?
It says move the charge marker on the command bridge tracking. So it's more of a command bridge tracking dashboard, whatever that means. So that's going to be more of just like a line that you just slide it down rather than having to somehow keep track of 20 damage tokens or something.
Yeah, well, I think it's going to be like a big board on the other side with like a bunch of like 20 slots.
Something. I wonder if because it's tracking dashboard, so probably not on the map, on the old battlefield.
No.
Yeah. Interesting. Still a lot of questions to be answered about that. But the question I was presenting to you was how, not so much like individually, but do you think Other points are going to change to reflect this. Is there any, like, what are the ripple effects if this was legal for Worlds?
I mean, a lot of that depends on the points we get on these. Like if one of these things like is lower than we expected, like say Lando shows up at 6, like holy crap, is this a whole other world of like stuff to like? Then you look at, if you recall the squad that had Chopper in it. Now you look at Han, Lando, Luke, Sabine, Tie Fighter. That's allowed to be a thing then. But and the side effect of that is, so on the logistical part, um, as we know, not all locations around the world get this on release day. If something impactful, if this is all legal for Worlds, if something very impactful gets released into this and people need to get it, like for their World squad, and they have trouble getting it logistically because of either their location didn't get it, or if lists need to be submitted for the event by a certain time, likely a day or two prior, whatever. People have issues getting the product, or if there are rulings that judges for Worlds, not to say it's too difficult for them. I know we have Chris already went over, and we've seen for the past that we have an amazing judge team being put together for this world. And right now, I would expect their best efforts to whatever happens. But I'd like them to not have to worry about it, and not have to sift through your rules questions, weird
Mm-hmm.
interactions that may come from any of these. I mean, we've seen out of the list of the loadout of the standard loadout ships that we're getting this, we've seen one Jemmer, Tycho, Lando, Wedge. That's 4. We've seen your Mouse, and that's it. So we've seen 6 out of like 20, I think. I think there's 10 each. So there's a lot more to go to be shown. And points are going to decide how impactful these are for Worlds if they're legal for Worlds. We still don't know the date cutoff. It could just be that, Adepticons, or the AMG says Adepticon's going to be where we're going to debut the scenario. So for a side event, get really popular, people might buy into it. You'll buy the scenario there, and you'll get to play in the actual scenario event
Mm-hmm.
itself, type of thing.
Well, we just had Chris on talking about the games library, so maybe
Yeah, be
a
part of the games
kind
library,
person
maybe.
could bring it if they don't have it already available. That would be very exciting. It would be like one of the first times a lot of people would have access to playing it. So, wow. What's your thoughts,
So I,
James?
I
Or
mean,
sorry, go ahead. Finish your.
I'm all in for chaos meta, but
Yeah, fair.
I don't know about this one. I'm iffy. I don't know.
I think
Fair.
as long as they have a good rollout and it's consistent and they have product at Adepticon to sell to people that want to play this with their list, then I think it will be. I would be fine with it. And just to, debut, it would be an amazing debut, right? For the. Can you clarify? Because I can't remember if it did last year or not. Can you change your list between
No.
Swiss and Worlds? Like Swiss
You
and
know,
finals?
Oh, through the
no,
LCQ you
no.
could. Yeah.
LCQ. Okay, so you
Yes.
Yeah,
can change your list on LCQ.
Those are
yeah.
two separate
LCQ,
events.
your LCQ list can be different from your whole Worlds list, but
Gotcha.
once you start Worlds on day one, it needs to be the same Worlds day one, day
Yeah.
two, and if you make it to the finals.
Yeah. Um. So I don't know. I think I would be fine with it, but as long as people had access to it, that would be my qualifier.
I mean,
Yeah, I think that's the big one.
very
Is
fair.
the logistical part to me. Is just is if something does show up that's very impactful on either the Empire, Rebel, or both ends, I'd want to make sure all players have equal level access to this pack.
I'm gonna have to play the devil's advocate villain here, and just point out that currently, not everybody has access to everything who's going to attend Worlds. South America, um, oh man, now I'm forgetting his name. Our like 2022 Galaxy's champion was out of South Africa. I know Mashari out in um,
Yeah.
Kuwait, I think, but the Middle East. They also have a huge delay in just normal products, let alone a brand new scenario pack. So, I I had to feel like that it's not that big of a deal that only like the U.S. can get it. Not to say that you couldn't like order one. I mean, I'm looking at this add to cart right now. Um, for potential.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that it's
I
going to
know.
get to you in time, you know. And we have historically seen some shipping problems.
True. I
And
empathize that everyone should have access to it, but realistically, that's never been the case. It's never been even for everybody. I'm trying to think of what was the last expansion that came out before the previous worlds? Was it Battle of Yavin? No, it was Siege of Coruscant, wasn't it? Did we have anything in that spring after Siege and Hot Shots 2?
I would be able to
I don't
tell
think
you.
so. I don't think so. I think it was Rogue Class and Z95s, Yavin, Hot Shots 2, Siege, and then nothing up until Worlds. So there was a lot longer delay. Though to
Yeah.
be fair, it didn't look like anything too complicated. They weren't like inventing new terms or anything in what we've seen so far. A little questions of like, you know, now we had to know, am I still depleted? Am I considered depleted while attacking? Things like that. But nothing too outside of the rules.
Yeah.
Though we also have the best judge team in literally the world. So if anybody could figure it out, it would be them. So I would say embrace the chaos. I'm in for it as well. That what a shakeup. Not quite the Super Mario Bros. 3 Wizard ending, but a reference I keep making, and eventually someone will get it. but I would love to see them at Worlds. What chaotic. Unless there is, how we say, not enough time to review them. We have had, not recently, and not as much recently. Actually, I think there was nothing errated out of the Bomber Pack, if I remember correctly.
I believe so.
Technically, nothing errated out of the Dash Pack, though the previous thing got errated, and that was a kind of fiasco. But
yeah. Well, yeah, because it was like there was a couple things shown on like the errata page that was incorrect, but that we got that fixed though.
yeah, that wasn't anything like misprinted. It might be the best way to say it.
Misprinted is a better way to say that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything misprinted in the last two ones, which is that's a double thumbs up for that. But the track record makes me concerned that there might be something misprinted in here that might equate differently. And will that get corrected before Worlds? It could be the only issue with the full chaos theory.
Mm-hmm.
That's like really my only fear. It's that like, whoops, we didn't mean to put Lando at 7.3 points or something like that. And we're like, who knows? But I would be excited to see him as someone who has called off Empire for a while. I don't foresee myself trying these out in the near during this scenario, I guess. But it does lead me to ask you about what Greg is bringing up or had brought up, and this is these two know my feelings on it as well, so I'll pass it over to you. We'll just read Greg's quote, so I don't have any opinions that I could put onto this question. Greg says, "Is there any worry about cards getting so complex that it slows the game down?" That's a lot of Lando that can happen, and I would agree with that statement. Do you guys have the same kind of concerns about the complexity of these standard loadouts? Let's focus on that.
I'll be honest. I think that Lando is like 1,000 times easier to understand than Zam pilot currently.
Okay.
And that Zam pilot has been used a lot in the past pre-COVID times and a little bit after. Like, it's a well-known card. It's very well-known pilot, but if any, like, very little percentage of those people actually understand the rules of the Zam, like 2 cards you can put down, flip when you get attacked, or don't flip when you get all that stuff, charges. That to me is way more complicated than just all Lando is here's a ship with a pilot ability and a chassis ability, an action bar, and here's like all those upgrades that are listed there are the same thing as if you were putting upgrade cards on the table.
I mean,
on one card.
As devil's advocate here, Will, what do you take on Morna or Rack when you take them out to spin? You know,
I take a crew, sometimes 2 different crew cards, a title, and probably a talent, if not a bomb. I don't know what else I have on there.
So probably like
at least 4 upgrades.
Up to around 5, 4 to 6 upgrades, I'll say.
Right.
Plus the pilot ability of the card.
Sure.
Yeah. So I don't think that's any different than this. It's just it's being front loaded. It's not like, hey, here's Predator. It's like, okay, I understand Predator. Here's this next thing. Okay, I understand that. And then it's throwing it at you all the new stuff at the same time. I think it's a lot. It is a lot, but I don't think it's any more than we're used to.
So to you, it's more of that it's new information rather than the amount of information is what is the difference. It's just because we're not familiar with it, we have to learn it every time. That's what makes it complex, or could be perceived as complex. Versus, just to finish the thought there, that if I have like marksmanship, predator, lone wolf, elusive, and I have FCS, fire control system, well, that's a lot to imagine. Like, how does he reroll his dice in so many ways? We just are used to all those abilities and how they interact, so it would seem less complicated. Is that what you're trying to say there? Did I
we're used
interpret
to all
that
of the,
correctly?
Yeah. It is reminiscent of, and you know, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I didn't play 1.0 very much. It's very reminiscent of like late 1.0 with like Ray Pilot.
Oh, you have no idea.
Yeah, just like I put a token down, I pick it up at the end of the round, I also put it on the card, and I do this. It's a lot of things that for me was very overwhelming when I was first coming into the game because it was so much front loaded.
Right. Okay. I could see that. I mean, I think we could all learn it. Obviously, X-Wing players are smart. We can learn anything. But to me,
like,
it's
some of
a
the
lot.
Lando stuff is more like baked in a little bit, where like 9-nub. Okay, we just know the banks are all blue.
Yeah.
Granted, we knew 9-nub before. Sure. I think stuff like Falcon title and It's a Trap are kind of quick Like once you just know they
Mhm.
exist and see it played out once in a game, you're like, oh, he has a non-lock red orange token. He gets to reroll his attack or defense, one of his attack or defense stuff. Got it. Or like, oh, because all these other ships for Rebel and Empire all deal with how many of my friends are near me, or how many enemies are, or for Empire, how many of my friends are around my enemy, type of thing. Um, that's going to handle the it's a trap and no escape. I think the ones that are going to be the more like, oh hey, what's that again? It's going to be like Lando's ace in the hole, Aaron Kraken, and maybe his pilot chassis ability. I think the chassis ability will be a quicker one too, and the pilot, because really the pilot ability is very straight up. Like, just, I get to choose twice a game to be a different activation number. Okay,
Right.
like people have to remember that exists, but beyond that, it's not complicated. Oh, when you do red action, I can roll a die on a hit or crit. I remove the stress. Okay, again, same thing. Recognition the first time or two, but it's not complicated. I think the most complicated ones are Ace in the Hole and Aaron Kraken, and they're not even that super complicated.
Sweet.
Now, layer everything over top of each other, sure, it's kind of a lot, but it's a lot of small things. I think.
I think I see what you're saying here. If I can, not trying to mansplain your own opinion, but to translate it into maybe a different way of saying it. Where
How dare you?
I know, how dare I? What you're really to you splitting up of like these are passive abilities. I qualify for them, and then I can do them. No decisions. I just am or I'm not using my passive ability. Whereas things like coordinating and barrel rolling, those are active abilities, and you have to remember their triggers and use them at the right timing and things like that. Those are, in comparing the two, more complex, and this actually has not as many active abilities as you might think. Is that kind of what you're trying to say?
Because like it's timing based things trigger. Because a lot of things people miss and forget about are trigger things.
Mhm.
Ace in the hole, start of engagement. That has been a common occurrence before, but it's not all the time. Tomax Brent is a good example right now. His True Grit ability is end of activation. I can't tell you how many times that is forgotten to actually happen, but I knew they intended on doing it, so I let them do it. But because end of activation is always like, this is the bomb phase, and because you're playing that against or with that Empire list, there's so many things going on in the bomb phase, you just forget about True Grit happening. Right. I wish True Grit was start of engagement, because it's like the same as activation.
It should have just been. It should have just been when you gained a stress token. But maybe not. I don't know. I guess
I do like the power that it has of knowing the board state, though. But I don't think there's. I currently in my mind don't immediately think there's an advantage to like, oh, put this in the same time frame as bombing versus put it at the start of engagement, because people will remember start of engagement is like, do you have any start of engagement triggers? Sometimes, or like we know end of activation is just here's all the bombs, and sometimes there's a lot of them, and you just get True Grit exists.
True.
So Ace in the Hole, start of activation, that is a not normal trigger point. After, like, if there's a very complicated attack coming into Lando, and it's Aaron Kraken's after defending, after maybe a lot of other engagement stuff has happened, maybe it's like Jess Pava shooting at I3 after so much stuff has already happened, like you just might forget Aaron Kraken gets to shoot back, type of thing. Yeah. And everything else is very like, I either have it or I don't, or I use it or I don't at normal time frame.
Those
start of activation for his ability is like a little weird, because not many things are start of activation, they're normally system phase. But I think because it's so integral and you only get to use it twice a game, it's going to be more memorable.
As someone who plays against Leia's just kind of lumped into the system phase as well, so it's kind of all the same before activation, right? What you said really did ease me a little bit, Ryan. That most of these are just like passive, like it's not a lot of choices until we start like Ahsoka coordinating with her ability, Lando to coordinate to give her back in action, and then she's giving once we get down, like, once it gets out of the scenario and we could start mixing it in with other shenanigans, it could get crazy. But that's just the nature of coordinating, in my
I
opinion.
was trying to find a way to give Lando an ion, but I don't see if there is one besides.
I was
like,
about to
what
look
we're talking
around,
about
like, what is Hera allowed to pass?
They can't pass
here.
ion
Hera
token.
specifically says focus, evade, or lock.
Or luck.
Okay, that's all I wanted to make sure of.
There's no way to
That's-
shoot your
that's good,
friends
though.
either.
There's no way to shoot your friends
I'm
for
telling
real.
you though, like
Gina,
Lando just fly through gas clouds. Oh yeah, Gina, true.
Gina could do it.
she just
Okay,
throws a red token.
So here you go. Here it is. All right.
That's actually a start of engagement, so you could wait for him to barrel roll before you throw the stress. But I guess you'd
Oh,
have the
yeah.
jam.
No,
Not if you jammed
I
off
think-
your lock.
Oh, Gina can only throw stress, right?
She only
Yeah,
throws
Gina
stress.
can only throw stress, but it does allow you to ace in the hole and then Gina, right? Because they're both start of engagement.
That's true.
You do get to choose order.
And Gina is range 0 to 2 as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's custom Gina. As
Custom
we see in the
Gina,
back
we
of the
don't-
box, we are going to get an SL Gina.
Maybe
And,
she
uh,
could throw
it may-
some ion
it may be
tokens
different.
around.
It may be different.
Ooh, okay.
Isn't there? Is this the modification that got banned? The
Static discharge
Static
veins.
discharge
yeah,
veins.
is that the
no.
ion one?
That's
Yeah,
banned. Yeah.
it's banned.
Okay.
Giving people tokens without.
Turns out when you fly over gas cloud just to
No.
ion yourself, just to give my opponent an ion token is not a good thing
Yeah,
for the game.
that's not
Oh,
allowed.
but it's scummy. No, it's terrible. Stop it.
No.
It's scummy. That's the Marcel voice, right?
No, it's not even meant for Marcel. It's meant for a random scum player that thinks it's janky. When because here's the like.
Hey,
alright,
I
so
did have a lot
small-
of. As
small-
a note, I had a lot of fun for Lam static discharge meaning people with the Bosk,
Oh,
but
sure.
they were not having fun at all.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it turns
Someone
out
was
a lot
having
of
fun, and it was me.
a lot of the random jank that I've seen scum players put together, it's like if this is actually good competitively, this is terrible for the game. Don't let this be good. Not to say all scum things are in that category, but there are certain scum things that like when I see them and there's the jank put together and they make this weird concoction and I don't know how stable it is. When I finally understand its stability, usually it's not stable and just I can find the linchpin. It's like, oh, this is how it just breaks or doesn't work or not worth it at all. But if it is stable, it's concerning.
Fair.
Yeah. So it's a hard line, right? Between having like new things, right? We want new things. We want new upgrades. I like the thematics of the standardized loadout cards. Having things that we usually don't see in upgrades. So it's just having to balance that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I like the design. Like my critiques are not about the design choices, like throwing Aaron Kraken in there. They could have just been like support turret gunner, right?
Yeah.
But they're like, no, let's find like a cool person to throw in, and let's get some more heroes that are well known in this lineup.
I mean, I'm all in on the Chewie quick build party bus with like a New Hope quick build, where it has all the main characters
Yeah,
like
Luke and Han
C-3PO,
gunners.
R2, Luke, Han Gunner,
Luke Gunner, Han Gunner, Leia,
Yeah,
co-pilot.
Leia. Yeah, I'm in on it. It's super cool, but it is a lot to first take in. But I don't think that it's too much. It could be too much if you're seeing it for the first time. Like if you are a player that doesn't keep up with like modern stuff or updated stuff, and maybe you are just coming to Worlds to play Worlds, and you didn't catch a glimpse of this before it came out, and it's like your Lando can do what?
Like more so like the game store pickup game, and you're like,
Also that.
look at all my things, and they're like, I just bought a conversion kit. What is even this card?
Yeah. Why do you have
I'll
this
say
weird
that
colored quick build?
that overall is probably true for anything though, right?
True.
Anytime there's someone who's missed out on a gap of a lot of new releases, like there's gonna be some niche things that are new that like, oh, that's a little bit much for me to comprehend right now, but it's new, I understand. Like I honestly I think it's probably weirder for people to try to understand the Deathfire SL people are using now than this Lando.
Yeah, that's a good point. There was a lot more rules questions we had for the previous standard loadouts. Not all of them, but some examples.
I mean, we haven't seen everything here, but I think from the just the stuff that we've seen, I don't think that I have any big rules questions besides I think the Millennium Falcon title, and I think we've pretty much figured that one out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was
But
really just Aaron Kraken and Millennium Falcon combined. Like, oh,
Right,
when I get the
yeah.
deplete, does it count for that? And we just had to make
Yeah.
sure that, like, no, because the deplete has already subtracted your die, you're not depleted anymore. You've suffered that token, so it goes away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Should be good. Rebels have really taken a liking to their standard loadouts. Hole, Luke, previously Han, making top 4 at last year's Worlds in a standard loadout. Falcon. So we could see a expert pilot getting this Lando Falcon into the cut then too. Hard to say.
Yeah.
Hard to say. We'll have to see what the remaining ones are because we only saw just a small slice of them. Didn't we say there's about 10 pilots each? 1, 2, 3,
I
4,
think
5,
so.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pilots for each faction. Wow.
I think it's been 10 each for all scenario packs so far. I know it's only 2, but I definitely remember Yavin being 10 per.
I remember something like we counted 23 pilot cards for Siege, and we're like, why is there 23? And then we figured out that like there's the
Double
3
droids.
cold doors or whatever, something like
Mhm.
that. Or no, that was Hot Shots.
That was
Same,
Hot Shots,
same
yeah.
difference.
Oh yeah, there were some weird ones. Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
Hayorchal prototypes, they're 2 pip. So there's 2 of them, even
Oh.
though there's 1 name
Yeah.
for them for Siege of Coruscant. Same with the Flag Arfok prototypes that are from Siege.
True.
And the
True.
Bactoid prototypes. There are also 2 of them.
Very true.
So, anyways. All right. Very exciting stuff. I'm excited to see the scenarios. Excited to see the rest of the pilots. Excited to find out if they're going to be their real debut, because there is no tournaments. All of the world qualifiers end in January. All the store championships that are official and qualifying for worlds should end at the end of January. So there's going to be no major events between February 23rd and Worlds, at least official ones, anyways.
Yeah, like store champs.
Yeah, no store champs, no world
Yeah.
qualifiers, no regionals, no system opens.
Yeah.
What other tournaments have we had? Name off some more tournaments. Hyperspace trials.
Hyperspace. The lag got me. The brain lag, that is.
So yeah, that it will be exciting to see if an ace pilot could find a winning list with these new loadouts.
Yeah, I'm excited to get squad loadouts for these, and that way we can start theorizing some lists. Hopefully not 2 Falcons, but I hear I hear that Ryan's already in on the 2 Falcons.
You always double Falcon. Someone has said that.
I don't know if I'm in on it, but that's on the radar if it's
Sure.
possible.
Double Falcon Lebo.
Somebody, yikes.
No, I had
thanks.
about 3 ships.
Oh.
3 big
Somebody
boys.
did. The math was 8 for Lando, 7 for Han, and 5 for Luke.
Yeah,
That's a 3 ship.
Even if Lando comes in at 8, yeah.
I don't know about Luke flying around by himself, but
I he has friends.
by himself. The Falcons are not going to hang out with Luke. We're like, okay, you go joust, little buddy. We're out of here.
Yeah.
Good luck. We'll see you on the other side. Very excited, yeah. Hopefully we'll get another preview. Well, not another preview. This is barely a preview. This is just them selling it. But hopefully we'll get an article about it, and maybe an article for Worlds on AMG's website as they start the hype train leading to a major culmination of a lot of their year's work. I believe there's going to be like Shatterpoint stuff for the first time, like major Shatterpoint events there. Things of that nature. Obviously, we had Legion, Armada, in addition to that, and the Star Wars family going to be at Adepticon. Very exciting stuff.
I was trying to find if anything is going to be there for Star Wars Unlimited, but I haven't seen anything.
Unlimited, yeah.
So
gotta rep that old school FFG.
Yeah.
Adepticon's pretty much a
well, I think we're talking
board.
about LVO, right?
Oh, LVO. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
So-
No, I'm
so much
talking
focus on Worlds.
Adepticon.
Oh, okay.
Oh, ha.
I was talking to Adepticon, that we're going to see Shatterpoint events for the first time.
Yeah. No, we'll see Shatterpoint at Adepticon for sure. We won't see Unlimited because Adepticon's board gaming convention, not card game.
It's a miniatures convention specifically.
Sorry. While true, there won't be any official events. There sure will be plenty of us that will bring our cards. If you want to enjoy some Unlimited pickup games, even maybe some like, let's get some packs and do a draft or seal. Like that just might happen.
So
now, bear in mind, it might not be till like midnight or whenever we're done with dinner, but you know.
Well, if you've never been to Adepticon, those parties don't stop. It's a long weekend, just to say the least. But it should be a great time. James, you're going to be streaming. I just got my last chance qualifier ticket, though I have at least one store championship, if not two, I can attend and potentially get my invite. The track record that nobody from the LCQ has made it into the top cut in the last two Worlds is not a great sign of anybody in the last chance qualifier. Still, I want to go and play X-Wing, so I wanted to sign up for like the event I could. Ryan, you got yours at Nova.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken. Marcel got his at Gen Con.
Yep. I guess kind of a heads up to everyone. So I went through this with Adepticon. I went through to get my badge. I signed up for the World's Prep event, but I only saw the last chance qualifier. I didn't see the World's overall event. AMG is still going through, making sure all emails are aligned. They may prompt up at some point within the Discord or official social media or an article or something in the near future that says, hey, contact this address email to let us know if you should have an invite within our records based on emails you've given in the past and you're not able to sign up for the Worlds event. Because I think it's like a permissions-based thing to be able to sign up for the main Worlds event if you've got an invite. Don't freak out, as Chris said last week, and as Andrea's posted in the AMG official Discord, they're honoring all correctly earned invites. Won't have to freak out. So just be patient. Get your badge. Get all the other events that you want signed up for, taken care of, so you don't lose a spot in anything that you want to play in. And just modify your registration once that becomes available in the future, when they fix what they need to do or send out the correct email, whatever part of the process is. I'm not concerned. I know I got mine at Nova. There's might be some people who maybe had a store championship that was iffy on the 16 player thing, and they had it clarified that they were going to get it, but they don't see them signed up. I wouldn't panic. Just give AMG some time. This is the first year this is a lot of invites that were available to players this year. So
If you're concerned
freak
about
out.
it, though, reach out to the store and just confirm that they did send off that information, that they received it and sent it off. They had to be to a very specific email in a specific format that I'm not privy to. But
Yeah,
the
I guess, but before hounding AMG more at this point, it is worth double checking wherever you earned your invite. Likely at like if you earned it a world qualifier, you might be the most safe.
yeah,
But
fair.
if you earned it on a store championship, I think it might be worth, if you don't see it up there, just make sure on your end and on their end that it's been all reported and they've filled out the Google form that AMG has given stores to fill out to let them know the contact information, your name, your email that went out, and make sure on the ends that you have any amount of say or control over are taken care of.
It's true. Gotta be diligent. Only have until the last day of January to finalize all that information. So you better start now. But yeah, registration also is open. If you've been listening to us talk about Adepticon this whole time and not even checked to see if tickets are available yet, they are. Go check them out. I think there's only, like, by the time you're listening to this, it might be sold out, but there is very few last chance qualifier tickets available. I think I grabbed like the 7th to last one.
Yep. It's
Something
always
like
worth
that.
going on the wait list because there are people who may have signed up for the last chance qualifier that could still earn an invite at either LVO or the multiple store champs that could still be going on in the second half of January. I am helping host one in Michigan at Eternal Games in Warren
Mm-hmm.
on the 20th of December, or not December, January. So that's an example right there. Also, if you're in the
Nice.
area, come on down. We almost have 16 players. You should make it 16.
That's true. I need to shout out the Wisconsin tournament I'm heading to. If you are not part of our Discord, you got to click the links in this podcast or wherever you're listening. !Discord on our Twitch can get you into it. We have a section, if I can find it, called non-GSP events. And you can put all that stuff in there. I see Ryan put his Eternal Games Store Championship in there already. So he's a smart man. That's where you can put your
I
events.
just checked. We have 14 players right now. Still have a couple weeks, but the quicker it gets to 16, the more likely people are willing to sign up and say, "Yeah, let's see if I can go get that invite."
Exactly. The one I want to talk about is in Medford, Wisconsin. Me and Lambolo are going to be there. A bunch of other people from the northern Michigan and Wisconsin area. So if you are able to head out to Medford, this is at, what is the name of the oh my gosh, it's just slipping my mind. What is the name of that store, Lambolo? Why am I crazy? Well, I'll just Google it then. Oh, there it is. The Tea and Card Hobby Shop. So check that out. Like I said, that information is on our Discord. We love collecting the information there. We also have the map our Canadian friend Tim was putting together where you could pinpoint your events and find out events local to you. So amazing stuff in the Discord that you got to take a look at. Though, for now, I think we've pretty much exhausted the battle over Endor leaks. Unless I'm missing anything. I think it's time to get out of here.
Yeah, I think we hit everything.
Excited to see more leaks.
So.
I'm the most excited to see B wings because I just want good B wings in the game.
Are the B wings gonna be able to double attack? Do they have a way to get a bonus action? How are they gonna make them not just one agility X wings? You know what I mean?
It could be anything. I just hope there's some that are 4 points.
Wow.
And good. 4 points and good.
Maybe.
I
What-
mean,
what's-
it's good.
What's the chances of like a 2-charge advanced sensor? Twice per game, take an action before you do a red maneuver.
A red maneuver specifically? Well,
Specifically-
you can't really call that out when you haven't showed it yet. Unless,
When you
unless
reveal
you're talking
your
legit.
dial,
Yeah.
you may spend a charge to perform a
Oh.
white action, and then you are not allowed to take any more actions this
Yeah.
round.
So
or
lit-
activation.
Oh,
Literally-
because
literally
specifically it's
the-
asking for a red move instead of like
wants a red
advanced
maneuver.
sensors. Do
Yeah.
do a couple actions, then do a blue move, clear, do
No.
another action. Like
No.
avoid that. Oh,
Yeah.
eh.
Reveal a red maneuver, take 1 action, 2 charges.
And then just to clarify,
I'm excited.
could you be able to Leia off that?
Oh, because I said reveal a red maneuver. Oh,
Yeah.
gross. No. Stupid standard loadouts mixing with customizable stuff.
Look, you're telling them they have to bring Leia Falcon to do it. I think we're okay.
No, I think he's talking Leia crew.
Leia Crew.
So I'd reveal a red maneuver, but it turns out it wasn't red.
It was white the whole.
I'm going
I
to
mean-
I'm going to preface this, James, by
Don't-
saying
you don't get to
before
do
you
anything.
execute a red maneuver.
Okay, even better. Yep.
Very clear in when I want you to use this ability.
Yeah, because I think that does cover Leia, because that would change it to a white.
You may perform 1 action and no more actions this round. So
Yeah.
you can't link off of it even. You can't link
Yeah,
it and
yeah.
be like, oh, I'm stressed. I'll do a 2 forward. No shenanigans. Just let my B-Wing barrel roll before I do a 2K. So
Or
I-
one talent. Ugh.
yeah, for a 1 talent, so I can actually turn around to my B-Wing.
They are so difficult to turn around unless you get.
We made fun of Nodin or Netrum Padani was that dude's name? Netrum.
Netrum Pollard.
Pollard. That's actually a real good guess. That's probably true. Did the Asbies. Netrum. We made fun of his ability, and then I was like, wait, this dude's got 3, basically a 3 talon roll ish. K turn. I was like, yes, I'm in. Please, please let me fly over a large base to turn around. So, maybe. He was obviously way too good with advanced sensors, so he can't be barrel rolling before an actual maneuver is 6. That's crazy. Yeah, we'll see. What was the other ones? There was TIE Fighters, Interceptors. It'll be, honestly, my final thoughts. I think it's going to be hard for them to make the TIE Fighters interesting.
We have so many interesting TIE fighters, and they just fall to the wayside for the boys.
Yeah, for a high initiative, high attack, right? I don't care.
Boys
I don't
aren't even,
care.
like-
Health.
The boys are good, but with Han existent, they have fallen off quite a bit.
They have fallen off. You're right, but
And even,
Honestly,
and even,
I
Arc,
see-
and even Arc
do you
170s,
see-
like
do you see any other TIE fighters rising
Black
up to take their
Black
place?
Obsidians and
Oh.
Academies.
I
I think we
generics
see
because
more.
they're 2 points.
Yeah. I don't need to worry about your damage output if I only paid 2 points for you.
And I go earn more than 2 points a game because I'm picking up boxes or pressing
Right.
buttons or existing in an
So
assault
let's-
zone.
So that yeah. How they are gonna convince me to pay 3 points for a TIE fighter is gonna be very interesting. Well, defensive rerolls or offensive rerolls for the Empire could be a way to do that. We'll see. I'm excited. Also, as long as the bombers don't launch bombs, that's all I care about. Yeah. Wait, did we got to get out of here, but it does make me think. Did any other SLs have bombers? Like, obviously, the
Yeah.
starter pack had SL proxy mines or whatever, but like, has any SL had bombs?
Oh,
V-
the
the
V-Wings
V-Wing?
do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
Contrail has ion bombs.
but did ion bombs come with Contrail originally?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh,
Like-
Y-Wings, I think in Yavin Y-Wings have bombs? Maybe they didn't. But I know for sure V-Wings
I don't think any
have
Yavin.
bombs.
I don't
And
think any Yavin Y-Wings have bombs. They certainly weren't dropping bombs in the trench, which would have been really smart, by the way. Oh, is there a Darth Vader behind you? Drop a proton bomb, Dutch. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, drop a seismic. Can you imagine the
Drop a
devastation the seismic would have on the...
Rules lawyer, the Death Star is an obstacle, correct?
Correct? It's gone. I removed the obstacle. Yeah, easiest mission ever. Let's go.
We did it. Let's go. Kaboom! And then da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Just roll credits right then after the seismic bomb. All right, we're getting silly now. Let's get out of here. Check out the Discord. Sign up for the Patreon. Watch our streams of the Las Vegas Open, and definitely check out the Worlds in May. Sign up now at adepticon.org. But for everybody here, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Stay safe, stay smart. Gold Squadron out.
Thank you to ISO, Danko, Baffle, Trojan, Prophet, Shadow, Tycho, Spice, Raider, Lancer, Fallen, Row 6, 626, Chief, and J List, our Grand Admiral patrons. And all of our Gold Squadron patrons and community members, thank you for your support. Gold Squadron out.